do its chemical thing.
Let's hit it again. Nerd 2000s, they're on. Ready to go.
And scene.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. M5 again. Let's do some body work. Let's finally get this taken care of. We got all the rust treatment done. I really want to get into this, get this stuff painted. Streamline butterfly. Yeah. I'm gonna start taping things off. I'm gonna hand sand this stuff back, feather it back. You'll see what I'm doing. We'll do the same with the deck lid, and then we'll do the rocker panels as well. Epoxy the areas that we repaired, you know, prime and paint. Seal. Don't forget to seal. Seal is important. If you don't seal, you know what happens, right? All right, let's get to it. Since it's sanded. Woo! And scene. 220. I'm just scuffing this back. Feather this back so there's no ridge. Now you don't want to take too much of that off because that's galvanized. You don't want to take the galvy off. Well, where we acid etched it. And I'm just feathering this back. And that way the epoxy really can bite into that too. Some people would use 80, but I'm not gonna. For body filler, you want a more aggressive. We might scuff this up with a little bit of 80 around the edges. This panel doesn't need a ton of body work. And this up here. Remember, streamlined butterfly. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. BMW uses some pretty heavy primers and sealers. You really want their cars to be flat. Well, they used to. I don't know what they do now. Everything's cheap. Woo! We're gonna scuff up this whole thing with probably 600. We're gonna blend the paint in here. So this is where the major repair is. We're gonna get some primer in here, some epoxy around the bare metal areas where the rust was. And then we'll fade that out with some sealer. And then same with the back here, which we're gonna move to that and kind of blend that out. So follow me. Alright, this is where we did that one repair, back left. We'll get that sanded down, blend it in, and then we're going to scuff up this whole panel because we're going to cut the paint line here and paint that whole rocker. Alright, let's blend this one back. Alright, pretty happy with that. I don't feel a ridge or anything, and then we've blended back the rubberized undercoating so when we do this we'll kind of match the pattern. It's tough to do sometimes. I don't want to have to redo the whole thing. It's down on the bottom, you're not really going to see it. It should match pretty good. I use a pretty high quality paintable undercoat, so. All right, we get the car all taped off, and now I'm going to spray some epoxy in here. Same here, a little epoxy there. We don't really need it there. And we'll put some epoxy back here, all up underneath there and there. That's all been cleaned, it's all been prepped, it's all sanded down, ready for the epoxy. Same over here. After we're done with the epoxy, we'll do some body filler. All right, we just gotta stir up the epoxy after letting it sit for 15 minutes and kind of do its chemical thing. All right, stir this up a little bit more and I'm gonna go spray it on the car. All right, now all we gotta do is Watch some paint dry. We got 2 coats, 3 on this back quarter panel. It fills in real nice. We got up underneath there. Got the gas door. Got all up inside there. There was some surface rust. Got this repair here that we did. And actually, all up underneath the trunk. I tape off that symbol. I cover it with my hand while I was spraying. But yeah, that looks so much better. Gotta patch that hole. Forgot about that. We'll weld that up. All right, I already started in with this. I just wanted to check something. There must have been a little bit of a repair here. There's a little bit of filler. They left a little nub hanging out, so I'm sanding that down. The clear coat started coming up a little bit. You can see it up here. So I'm gonna blend this in here, repaint this, and blend it back. This has already been blended at one point, so I don't want to get into it too far because then I'm gonna end up painting the whole side of the car. So I'm gonna paint this like back into here, and then we'll paint it up into the fender here. The color looks pretty good, but the clear coat is just cooked. Anyways, so yeah, so I'm just gonna sand this down. I'm hand sanding it. I don't want to dig into it too far, but again, like I said, there's little dots right in here, and that's the clear coat actually coming up off the paint. So I don't know if it was prepped wrong or wasn't prepped good enough and that sort of thing. So yeah, so we'll scuff up this whole fender, get it all taped off, and then we'll repaint this and shoot the whole thing with clear. Once we're doing everything else with clear. I'm just waiting for the other stuff to dry, so keep moving, try to get stuff done. All right, enjoy. I'm just gonna hit this. You want to seal that, because if you paint right over that, you'll see it. There's no way around it. You're gonna see that through the paint eventually. Maybe a year, maybe 2 years, but you will see it. All right. See, you can already see it coming back through. So we'll let this dry and we'll hit it again. All right, guys. I'm gonna leave this for the night. I gotta let everything kind of cure. That I could probably wait another 10 minutes or so, but I like to do it overnight so I can sand it. We're gonna come back in tomorrow. We'll probably sand that, scuff up all this. We'll be able to put some body filler on that epoxy primer, because that takes a while to dry. I like to wait 24 hours on that stuff. Do the same thing back here. That's all primed. That's on there really heavy, so that's gonna take a while to dry. So again, I'll come in tomorrow, we'll put some body filler on that. Same with this corner here, that I went pretty heavy. And in there I went pretty heavy. So, and then the rest of it actually down here and up there, we'll do that repair and finish that up and put some body filler in there. And hopefully maybe tomorrow I'll even get some paint on this thing. All right, I've done a little bit of work off camera. It was kind of boring, but I sprayed that epoxy on there yesterday and it came in, it just wasn't drying. I finally had to put some heat to it and got it to crank the heat up in here and then put an infrared heater on parts of the car. So that helped out a lot. I got that welded up actually today. Forgot about that little hole that was in there, and I put a little fiberglass around the seam, and then I've now put some real lightweight body filler. That's like a skim coat. That's gonna cover in all those little bumps from where the rust was. And then down here, I put a little body filler down here, and there was a little ding, a scratch here. This whole panel is gonna get painted, and then the clear coat will get pushed up and over fender there. I've scuffed up this. This doesn't need much work now. The epoxy really is super thick and very hard. It's still not quite dry, but we'll get to it. This just needs a little bit of that lightweight body filler in there. We'll put some seam sealer in here. And I've got some body filler down on the rocker panels. That's fiberglass. I always seal with fiberglass. It's waterproof. It's really good for welds. You know, the water can't get in there, cause it to rust. And I also seal it from the back, but with a paint. And we got this fender all sanded down this morning as well. I'm gonna have to hit it again with some primer here. If I don't hit that, that was a little ding right there. If I don't hit that with primer again, like I said before, it will come through the paint. But we'll blend this all back in here. We're gonna leave this. This will be clear coated. This paint will go down into here and then all the way up into there. And it should match the hood very well. I also filled in some chips in the front with that real lightweight skim coat body filler. Sanded this little imperfection down there from when it got nicked. I don't know, it got hit probably in a parking lot or something. Same thing over here. I got a little bit of body filler down here on this. And the whole rocker panel is gonna get painted. And then this didn't really need any filler here. That just had a little bit of surface rust, so I put some epoxy on it. I treated it with some rust inhibitor and then covered it in epoxy. So we're getting there, getting real close. And I'll show you, I'm gonna sand that down as soon as that cures. It's about there. Fun getting around all that stuff, but we'll get it. That stuff sands really nice. All right, let's get to some sanding. I'm mixing up a little body filler right now, putting here, and a little bit over there. I've scuffed this up with 80 grit, which should be good. This is almost taken care of. I got a little bit more body work on there. And down here, I'm mixing up some, I don't know if you can see in the camera. Cameraman? I don't have a cameraman, sorry, not today. Anyways, and down here, same thing. I'm just gonna skim coat that a little bit. And I'm using this 3M, you guys are curious. I'm using this 3M, this is a glaze. This stuff is great for doing stuff like this. It sands really easy, and it's really smooth, really pin-free, pinhole-free. It's great stuff. I love how easy it is to sand, and it sets up pretty quick. That's where you have that little bit of rust bubbling right there. All right, we made it. Anything in here? Nah, I think we're good. As a back here, I haven't really been filming it just because it's watch me sanding is probably not very fun, but doing a lot of hand sanding up and under here and really trying to get this flat and straight and smooth. There was a lot of pitting back here just from the rust. And same down here. It's getting a lot better. And we got the nicks taken care of here. That's gonna need to be primed because that will come through. And again, just smoothing out this around the gas door. Same down here. Little nibbles here and there. And we got body filler on this. That's just to cover up that fiberglass we put on there. I put it on pretty thick, but I didn't want to have to do it again, so we'll sand that back. So again, this will get all clear coated up in here. That's where we're at with this right now. I'm gonna keep going at this tailgate, let that dry up there. I just want to finish that fender and have that done so I can say I finished something. This is taking way longer than I expected. There's a lot more work than expected on this car. At least it doesn't need much mechanically. I think we pretty much took care of all that with the rear brakes. but it needs a good amount of body work. And we still gotta buff this whole car out when we're done. And like I said, I'll do a whole series on that too, this whole car, from start to finish on this car. Make sure you subscribe, guys. Hit that like button. Don't forget about the notification bell. That'll let you know. Hopefully you guys like this video. Let me know. Comment below.
I'll attack it one more time. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but like I said, I'm not in the booth, so I'm trying to keep this as clean as possible.
All right, about ready to hit some primer on this. It's pretty much in its final stages for bodywork. We're real close. I just have this on here so I don't get a ton of overspray on top of that, because I got to get up in here and get that, because that will come back through if I don't seal that. So we're gonna do all sealer in here. I found a little dent. I filled the dent. I might as well spraying all the way up and over there. We'll just blend this paint into that curve. That's pretty much done, and then we'll get down to the rockers once we're ready to paint, and we'll get that and fill that in. This will be Streamline Butterfly. Getting real close, guys. All right, let's get some primer on that. Let's hit it again. Nerd 2000s, they're on. Ready to go.
Prime it up.
All right, so I wet sanded the back, and I'm using 600 grit. So we're gonna use the world's dullest brand new razor blade. I don't know why, I just literally just grabbed that. What the, do you see this? Woo! Okay, so. All right, what's in this big box? Well, I'm gonna set you down over here. Let's set you down right here, and let's find out. I will say, gotta be one of the last ones in the US. It's OEM, very light. Crack her open, this is exciting. I think you guys might have figured it out. We have an OEM front bumper in primer. It looks like you take in one piece and isn't broken. Look at that. All right, in way better shape than that one. That one's a total piece of crap. It's been repaired about 17,000 times. This is the new bumper. Came primed. I'm scuffing it up. I don't trust factory primer. This is a BMW bumper, but it says primed, and the primer seems to be on there pretty good. I've scuffed it up. There's a few scratches. Happens in shipping. There's one right here. I don't know if you can see it. I scuffed it up. I scratched, sanded it back a little bit. Let's see if I can sand it out. I don't want to go too far because obviously I don't want to get a dip. But there was one here. I was able to sand that out with some 220. And then there's one here. And I'm going to reprime this whole bumper. I'll use an adhesion promoter, and then we'll prime the whole thing and then paint it. All right, I got this moved over to the paint room. I've put some sealer on this, some primer. Starting to sand it down, making it smooth. I'm hitting it with 600 right now. That should be good enough to put on the base coat, and then we'll put a clear coat on it. I put a plastic adhesion promoter on this before. I sanded off the old primer. I don't know what it was. It's like the ones you get on the fenders. I just don't trust it, so sand that down. Make sure this tower is actually grounded out. I have a ground strap down on the bottom, so anytime I do bumpers or anything like that with metallics, it keeps the static down. The car is behind me. It's been cleaned and prepped. So we will be spraying this very shortly. I probably will put paint on this tomorrow. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in, checking out the channel. I'm having a lot of fun doing this, so please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. Comment below. Let me know if there's anything that I could do. Maybe there's some stuff you don't like. I'm a little goofy. Oh wait, you guys want a dad joke? Dad joke. Hey, did you know there's more planes in the ocean than submarines in the air? Pretty plain to see, huh? Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, got that. You get it? Okay, good. All right, till next time, guys. Thanks a lot. Take care.